Stellar Blade director admits narrative was lacking, says he's cautious about trying to make up for it now. So the game came out. People are loving it. They really are. But the narrative, I suppose the driving storyline behind it was, lacking. So this gets into why, kind of. In the wake of Stellar Blade crossing 3 million sales mark, game director, I don't know how to say his name, Young Tae Kim, has come clean and admitted that, as many players rightfully pointed out, each story was more than a bit lacking. While Stellar Blade launched in April last year on PlayStation 5, its June 11th PC release this year has served as a real shot in the arm. Even with 24 hours of its PC launch, it was declared Sony's biggest launch on Steam. Less than a week later, it was beating out Steam all-time concurrent player count for Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, and Marvel Spider-Man. A game has a Steam all-time concurrent player peak of 192,000 as of the time of this writing. On June 16th, the game's official X account announced their latest sales milestone, over 3 million copies sold. So the game is immensely popular. And, okay, I haven't played this game. I can't say, oh, it's a great game. But I can say they defied the current standards of putting politics in it. They defied that. I believe that's why it was such a great selling game, because I've seen good games that didn't sell well, even though they were good games. I believe they made it such a point to go, we're not all about that. We're about a fun game with an attractive woman. That's it. They went straight for it, and they got it. They hit the nail on the head. A sequel had already been planned before the recent milestone. He added, you can tell the whole story through action alone. You have to take the narrative through cutscenes. Initially, we had a lot of setup and things we wanted to do in cutscenes. We plan to include detailed settings in the story, such as the reason why the protagonist changes clothes. But as we progressed, the cost of making cutscenes became too high. And in the end, we were forced to cut down on cutscenes that supplement the worldview and character narrative outside of the main plot for efficiency. That's how we were able to finish the game, Kim admitted. So they had planned on going, this is why she's changing this outfit. We're going to pad the story here and here and here, and we're going to make it more of a solid story. But the cutscene cost and, if they ever plan on getting the game finished, it came down to that.
Well, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's true that the narrative was lacking in that regard, and I'm cautious about trying to make up for it now, because it might conflict with a story that the users have already accepted. So yeah, anytime you go back and try to retroactively fix something, yes, that usually does cause problems. But I will say I don't think the majority of the users care about the storyline that much, as long as it's not total garbage.
Yeah.
According to the IR Investor Relations material, the project, originally developed as a story DLC for Stellar Blade, has been turned into a sequel. Since it was said to be targeted for a 2027 release, can we really expect to see the sequel then? Or is the platform still considered Sony console first? In turn, Kim admitted it was a IR team mistake. So this DLC turned into the sequel, I believe he's essentially saying that's not true. So, yeah, that's all I have to read on that page. But this game, I've been seeing everybody playing it everywhere. People are loving this. They're playing this more than the monkey game, the Wukong. And if you notice, both of those games were tremendous hits. You notice what they had in common, other than being Asian based, is they said, we have a cool ass character and we're gonna kick ass in a game. Play it.
Yeah. This game is for fun. It doesn't have political agendas.
Exactly.
Just play it.
This game has kick-ass graphics. It's got good action. It's fun. Now play it. And it's like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna play it.
Yeah.
That's it. The end. It's okay, I enjoy a game with deeper meaning and more than just action. Sure, I do. But we also need these just fun action games, especially, especially without the political bullshit.
But the main character, what I've noticed is the main character in this game, she's beautiful. They didn't make her ugly.
Here's the thing. They modeled her after a real woman, and the real woman looks almost identical. You know, that a lot of their argument was women can't look like that. They blah 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 blah. And then they clap back with, well, here's the model.
Oh.
And it's like, hey, it is a real woman.
Oh, good. I'm glad they didn't change it and do like a lot of the games do where they make the females ugly as shit.
Let's see if
hey, there's Moria Kitty. Hi, Kitty. Hi. We're talking about Stellar Blade and the model that they got to make the main character.
I was typing, but welcome, Kitty. How you say that first word?
Moria.
God damn, I'm so bad with names.
Yeah, you are, Noise. You're terrible with names.
Okay, well, welcome, Kitty.
I'm looking at your picture, Kitty. Oh, you're cute. You're cute. I've said it. And it's so. The Pug Queen has spoken.
I'm trying to find images of the model that they modeled the Stellar Blade character after.
Well,
so let me just share what I've found so far. The one on the right there is the model, and the one on the left is the character.
Oh, okay.
So here, the one on the left is the model. The one on the right is the character. So they were saying, real women don't look like that. You did this and you did that. And they're like, no, here you go. Here's the model. Here's the real model. That's a real woman. This was modeled after a real woman. So, and the whole argument was like, you only want to play characters that you want to fuck. That's true for a lot of people. It's not true for me. I mean, that would be weird. But it is true for a lot of people. But to say that they made a perfectly fuckable, character in game when it was modeled after a real woman.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean. She looks almost identical to the character.
Yeah, I mean, very, very similar, almost identical.
They did a real good job.
Now, it is not my kind of game, right? It's not. And there's no shame in that. There's no shame if you love it. It's your kind of game. Great. It is a big hit, and it's because it was made for fun, not for some agenda, not for this or that. No kind of pandering. They said, here's a kick-ass game with an attractive character. Go nuts. And they did. They swarmed the game. It is a massive success.
Maybe in the future we'll see more games like that.